Welcome to Ag Shorts. I'm Calen. With me is my father, Brandon. Calculating hay needs is the topic for Ag Shorts today. How do you go about figuring out how much hay you're going to need for the herd? Not only cows, but also horses when it comes to the winter. Because sometimes winter's 6 months long, sometimes winter's 9 months long.
Yeah, it's very, very scientific, and it's called the swag method. It's a scientific wild ass guess
Yep.
of what your year is going to be. So it's I always figure a good round number because you don't want to have these animals gain weight through the winter. You
Right.
want them to maintain. You don't want them losing weight, but you want to maintain, especially the cows and the mares that are all pregnant. I want them to have good nutrition. Uh, Mineral salt is important. Uh, and you can waste hay by not worming. Get rid of those parasites because you're feeding something other than the animal that you're trying to do something with. So um, I figure 30 pounds a day per animal, which is, I think, maybe just a tad bit heavy. But what I'm actually figuring in with that is how many days are we going to have winter too? And it built that's kind of my little cushion is, 25 to 30 pounds. I'm going to feed, call it 30 pounds. And then at a minimum, I'm figuring 5 months. I figure 150 days. And, last winter, um, it wasn't so much winter, it was not enough fall. So we didn't have enough grass with drought, grasshoppers, things like that. So we started feeding early and generally mid-April to late April, I'm not feeding anymore. They're not eating as much because when that green grass starts to show up, you can stick a nice fresh bale in front of a cow and she sees a little bit of green grass. That palatability is a strong driver for not eating hay anymore. So they will eat less. You feed in the during calving season, and these little calves will tend to bed in the hay. Um, and they eat around them. So 30 pounds a day, 150 days minimum. Sometimes, depending on what's going on, we're doing 180 to 200 days, and hopefully, did I say? Yes, hopefully we'll make it. So it's stressful. You want to have enough for your animals, and you're getting those cows, especially the cows. The horses, that's just a given. We hang on to the horses because we've got breeding stock. They don't filter through. We may buy some animals, but they don't just get culled. They're usually with us for a while. But the cows, you want to make sure that you've got a cow with a calf in her, and now you're just a month or two away from calving. You don't want to have to sell a cow that's going to be somebody else's ability to have some profit off of it or less loss the way it's been the last couple of years.
Well, and one additional complication too is that cold snap, for example, that we had an Arctic blast video on.
Mhm.
You have to throw another big bale at them to give them some calories to get through, because when
Yep.
it's a real feel of 50 below with an ambient of 22 below zero, you kind of need to give them calories, otherwise things are going to go sideways.
Yeah, and those cows, and you feel bad for them. Boy, it's, oh God, it's tough, and they're humped up, and they're tough. They're a tough animal, but all of them are just, they're
Miserable.
miserable. They're standing there trying to brave the what wind is there, and they're eating calories to try to maintain some body heat. And when you got a horse that's standing there shivering,
Yeah.
it's cold, especially one that's fleshy and thin animals. They just don't have the fat deposits to help, and that's why you try to keep some weight on these critters, and you can always get something fatter, but that complicates things on the other end as well. Why you wouldn't want to do that, but yeah, I feel for them. Eat and go to water, and that's about all they do. They don't do much of else of anything because it's so dang cold.
That's the Hashknife Ranch with hay calculations year after year.